The Bagpipers by Georges Sand. Translated by Catherine Prescott Wormley. Dedication. To Monsieur Eugène Lambert. My dear child, as you like to hear me relate the tales told by the peasants at our veillées, I mean the watch nights of my youth, when I had time to listen to them, I shall try to recall the story of Etienne de Perdieu, and piece together the scattered fragments of it still remaining in my memory. It was told to me by the man himself during several of the breyage evenings, a name given, as you know, to the late hours of the night spent in grinding hemp, when those present related their village chronicles. It is long since Père de Perdieu slept the sleep of the just, and he was quite old when he told me this story of the naive adventures of his youth. For this reason I shall try to let him speak for himself, imitating his manner as closely as I can. You will not blame me for insisting on so doing, because you know from experience that the thoughts and emotions of a peasant cannot be rendered in our own style of language without making them unnatural, and giving them a tone of even shocking affectation. You also know by experience that the peasantry guess or comprehend much more than we believe them capable of understanding, and you have often been struck with their sudden insight, which, even in matters of art, has an appearance of revelation. If I were to tell you in my language and yours certain things which you have heard and understood in theirs, you would find those very things so unlike what is natural to these people, that you would accuse me of unconsciously putting something of my own into the relation, and of attributing to the peasantry reflections and feelings which they could not have. It suffices to introduce into the expression of their ideas a single word that is not in their vocabulary, to raise a doubt as to whether the idea itself emanated from them. But when we listen to their speech, we at once observe that although they may not have, like us, a choice of words suited to every shade of thought, yet they assuredly have words enough to formulate what they think and to describe what strikes their senses. Therefore it is not, as some have reproachfully declared, for the petty pleasure of producing a style hitherto unused in literature, and still less to revive ancient forms of speech and old expressions which all the world knows and is familiar with, that I have bound myself to the humble task of preserving to Etienne de Perdieu's tale the local colour that belongs to it. It is rather because I find it impossible to make him speak as we do without distorting the methods by which his mind worked, when he expressed himself on points with which he was not familiar, and as to which he evidently had a strong desire both to understand and to make himself understood. If, in spite of the care and conscientiousness which I shall put into this task, you find that my narrator sometimes sees too clearly or too deeply into the subject he takes up, you must blame the weakness of my presentation. Forced as I am to choose among our familiar terms of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?